Hello, welcome to Misheard Song Lyrics Podcast. I'm Misheard. We're doing Season 4, Episode 167. First ever Def Leppard. I can't believe I've never not done a Def Leppard Misheard song lyric. It's on their famous song, Pour Some Sugar on Me. The Misheard song lyric is, living like a lover with a red iPhone. And the correct lyrics is, living like a lover with a red iPhone. Radar, not red iPhone. But it sounds like it, doesn't it? Although the song was actually made in 1987, and then the first iPhone wasn't released until June 29, 2007, so 20 years later, it definitely sure sounds like he's singing about a red iPhone. So let's just dig in. All right, Pour Some Sugar on Me is a song by English rock band Def Leppard from their 1987 album Hysteria. It reached number 2 on the U.S. Billboard Hot 100 on July 23rd, 1988. Yours truly was 16, behind Hold On to the Nights by Richard Marx. I Love Me a Power Ballad. The song itself is considered the band's signature song and was ranked number 2 on VH1's Greatest Songs of the 80s in 2000 in the 80s in 2006. So pretty good, number 2. So who is Def Leppard for some who might not know, which I can't believe, but all right, let's get into it. They're an English rock band formed in 1976 in Sheffield. Since 1992, the band has consisted of Rick Savage, bass, backing vocals, Joe Elliott, lead vocals, Rick Allen, drums, backing vocals, Phil Collen, guitar, backing vocals, not to be confused with Phil Collins from Genesis and Studio and all that stuff, and Vivian Campbell, guitar, backing vocals. They became part of the new wave of British heavy metal movement in the early 1980s, and their greatest commercial success came between about early 1980 and the early 1990s. Their first album in 1980, On Through the Night, reached the top 15 in the UK, but received a little notice elsewhere. Then their second album in 1981, High and Dry, was produced by famous Mutt Lange, who's ex-husband of Shania Twain, and did some of her songs as well, and see how successful she was. He helped him to define their, what they call melodic hard rock style, and the album's most popular track, Bringin' on the Heartbreak, became one of their first rock videos played on MTV in 1982. But the album only reached the top 30 and 40 in the UK and US. Then Def Leppard's next studio album, Pyromania, was released in January of 1983 with Photograph and Rock of Ages, both topping the US rock charts and reaching the top 20 and the Hot 100. And then reaching number 2 on the US album chart, Pyromania was certified diamond in the US and 7 times platinum in Canada, and reached the top 20 in the UK, but did not sell much elsewhere. So interesting. I just would assume it'd sell all over the world. And then Def Leppard's fourth album, the more pop-oriented Hysteria in 1987, which has this song, topped the UK, US, New Zealand, Canada, Australia, and Norway charts. It also went number 2 in Sweden and number 10 in Germany without any top 50 singles in those countries. It has been certified 12 times platinum for sales in the US and 13 times platinum in Canada, selling over 25 million copies worldwide, making it one of the best-selling albums of all time. The album spawned 6 top 20 US singles, including the US Billboard Hot 100, number 1 Love Bites, went top 10 in several other countries, including number 2 New Zealand. Of course, Pour Some Sugar on Me that we're talking to, US number 2. Hysteria, Armageddon It, I love that song, number 2 in New Zealand. Animal at number 6, the biggest UK hit, and Rocket, a top 15 hit in many countries. Hysteria had 4 top 10 hits in New Zealand. New Zealanders love them too, like we do. Their next studio album, Adrenalize, their first one, The Death of Guitarist Steve Clark, reached number 1 in the UK, US, New Zealand, Canada, and Australian charts in 1992, while going top 10 in Sweden and Germany. It contained several hits, including the US rock the US rock tracks chart topper, Let's Get Rocked, which became their biggest hit in several countries, including number 2 in the UK, number 3 in Canada and Switzerland, and the top 20 in Sweden and Germany. Woo! The third single, Have You Ever Needed Somebody So Bad, was a top 15 song in the US, UK, and Canada, and Adrenalize went on to sell over 8 million copies worldwide. All right, so they're considered the world's best-selling music artists. Def Leppard has sold more than 100 million records worldwide and have 2 albums with RIAA Diamond certification, both Pyromania and Hysteria, making them one of only 5 rock bands with 2 original studio albums selling more than 10 million copies in the US. And the band was ranked number 31 in VH1's 100 Greatest Artists of Hard Rock and ranked number 70 in 100 Greatest Artists of All Time. They were also inducted to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame back in 2019. And the cool thing is when they were inducted, who inducted them but Queen guitarist Robert May, who said they were, quote unquote, in a probably eloquent English accent, a magnificent rock group in the classic tradition of what rock group really is, and a bunch of magnificent human beings. Very nice. So what happened was on October 9, 2018, Def Leppard received an induction nomination from Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. In addition to the 1,000 members of the Hall of Fame voting committee, the general public, like you and I, also had the opportunity to participate in the fan vote. On December 13, 2018, Def Leppard was named in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame's class of 2019. The band also won the Klipsch Audio Fan Vote, beating 14 other nominees with 547,647 general public votes, 119,803, and 28% more than the second vote receiver, Stevie Nicks, so she was lagging behind, but second after them. The current lineup of the band, along with past members Pete Willis and Steve Clark, were inducted in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame on March 29, 2019 at a ceremony at Brooklyn's Barclays Center. That's pretty cool. All right, back more on the song. So near the end of recording the album Hysteria during a production break, lead singer Joe Elliott was jamming with the riff he had come up with 2 weeks earlier on his acoustic guitar. Producer Mutt Lange expressed great liking to it, like, oh, I like this, suggesting that it could be developed to another song. Now, although already behind schedule, Lange felt that the album was still missing a strong crossover hit and that this last song had to have the potential to be one. So within 2 weeks, again, short notice, the song was completed, smoothed out, and included as a 12th track on Hysteria. Elliott himself claims that the song was at least partially inspired by the Aerosmith and Run DMC version of Walk This Way, which made him realize the potential of mixing rap and rock. Now that he says that, I can kind of hear that, right? The song's lyrics were written after Elliott and Lange went to opposite ends of the studio control room and delivered a stream of consciousness words into the pair of dictaphones while the song's backing track played. That's pretty interesting. Then they swapped dictaphones and tried to determine what each other's words were. In the Hysteria episode of the classic album's documentary tale, Elliott said he thought he heard the phrase, "love is like a bomb," on Lange's tape, and that set the whole tone for the lyric, "Love me like a bomb, bomb." 2 intros were recorded for the song. The studio version had "Step inside, walk this way, you and me, babe, hey, hey," and then cuts immediately to the guitar, while the single version has "Love is like a bomb, bomb, bomb," and a slightly longer progression. So I didn't realize there were 2 versions, but there is. So by the spring of 1988, Hysteria had sold 3 million copies, which was not enough to cover the album's $5 million production costs. Wow, you would think it would have just had no problems beating that production cost. Thus, the band edited footage from an upcoming concert film to make a new promo clip for Pour Some Sugar on Me and finally released it as the 4th single in North America. Well, how did it do? Well, it did really well. It had what they call, due to some new promo release, it helped send Hysteria to #1 on the top pop albums, now the Billboard 200. Year after release, selling 4 million copies during the singles run. The song reached #2 on the U.S. Billboard, The song reached #2 on the U.S. Billboard Hot 100, denied the top spot for Hold On to the Nights by Richard Marx, #18 in the UK singles chart, and #26 on the ARIA charts in Australia. MTV ranked Pour Some Sugar on Me #1 in its top 300 views of all time countdown in May of 1991. In 2006, VH ranked the song #2 on its list of the 100 greatest songs of the U.S. Interesting, though, is in 2012, due to royalty conflicts with their record company regarding profit from online sales, the band re-recorded the song along with Rock of Ages under the title Pour Some Sugar on Me 2012. That's why I saw that. Okay, interesting. And released both digitally in June 2012. Similarly, re-recording version of the single Hysteria, entitled Hysteria 2013, re-recorded version, was also released online the following year. There's actually 2 music videos. I thought there was one. So if you look at both, you'll find both. Where the song was released, the first version was directed by Russell McColhay, showing the band playing inside a derelict Irish stately home. And apparently it was at Mount Marion House at Still, Oregon, Dublin, while it was being demolished by a wrecking ball and a burly sledgehammer-wielding female construction worker. Then they did a second version. So that song, or that video, was filmed before the song became a hit in the United States. And then, of course, they did a second version of just the band playing the song live while released for American MTV. So there's a lot of footage of them in the arena, concert arena, with fans and so forth. The American video, directed by Wayne Isham, was edited for the band's full-length 1989 video release, Live in the Round, In Your Face, recorded at McNichols Sports Arena in Denver, Colorado in February 1988. The music video for the song had an extended distortion laid into a lieu of the album's version, Step Inside, Walk This Way. Most compilations use extended music video intro, so that's why Love Me Like a Bomb, Bomb, Bomb. So that's how you'll know the difference, but there's two versions and check it out. But learned a lot. I remember as a young teenager, a group of us were in a friend's van all the way up from Portland to Tacoma, going to a George Michael's, this is crazy, concert in the Tacoma Dome, and we sang this the whole time. And my poor friend Tiffany's dad had to hear it for, the 3-hour drive. So God bless you, Tiffany's dad. If you have great suggestions like this, please send it to any of our social media sites. You can also send us an email at misheard, that's MISSHEARD, songs @gmail.com. Till then, keep singing those songs wrong. Bye.